All right, there are a few, I wouldn't say needs. Well, I guess one of them is absolutely a need, but there are multiple positions in which the Detroit Lions are going to look to improve upon following the 2023 season heading into 2024. They have cap room to do it. They don't have as much draft capital as they have in years past, but that's because, guess what? We did good, but I still think we have 3 or 4 picks in the top 100. And so we have plenty of draft capital. And here's the question. How do we address those needs? So those are the questions I have for you as you begin watching this video. Throw them in the comments. Number 1, what is the greatest position of need for the Detroit Lions? I think we can all agree on this one. Well, actually, no, I don't know if we can. And I'm talking about a group as a whole. What is the greatest position group need? What group do we need to improve the most? Then I think we can all agree. And then how do we attack it? Do we attack it through free agency or do we attack it in the draft? In this video, my answer is going to be simple. The greatest position group of need is corner. The question is, how do we attack it? So it took us a while to end the regular season, right? We extended it multiple weeks thanks to the playoffs, 3 extra weeks. So because of that, everything got moved back for me. And I'm really now starting to get into my draft prep, all right? And free agency prep. And what kind of contracts are they going to look like? And what way should we go on this? I've made videos about how I think we just need to kind of keep the team we have here, re-sign a couple players that we have, put a lot of that money on this season to make it more affordable in the future so we can continue to grow, continue to get better, and trust Brad Holmes in the draft process. That's a very boring way to go about it, but it's very exciting when you win. As Brad Holmes said in his press conference following the year, we are not doing things to win in March and April. We are doing things to win in December and January. That's what he said. That's what he wants to do. So it's okay if we have a boring offseason. In fact, let's go look at the other side of it. Let's look at the NBA. All right. The Pistons have done a ton of exciting things to win during the NFL draft or win during trade deadlines and seemingly make their team better, and they just keep losing. I am one of the few people that think it can get better quickly for them. But still, we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Lions. So let's look at what we have available. First, and I've done this in a video before, let's take a quick look at the free agent market. All right? Jalen Johnson of the Chicago Bears. The dude is a stud. We'll come back to this. We will come back to this. All right? And then you have L'Jarius Sneed. I think these are 1A and 1A options. I actually think I'd rather have L'Jarius Sneed. I know that sounds unique. You are going to pay these guys some serious coin in the offseason. But these are guys that you're like, okay, I could see this for sure working out. And it would be one of those things where you say, all right, this is the guy who's going to absolutely make a difference for us. Here is the projected market value for L'Jarius Sneed based on Spotrac, a 4-year, $65 million contract. I think it's actually going to be more like a 4-year, $80 million contract. I think you're going to need to pay this guy $20 million a year. I know that is a very unique thought process. I know that. But I really do just kind of think that's the way it's going to roll. Like, that's what you need to pay if you want a legit number 1 corner. All right. If you look at another guy that is still there, Jalen Johnson of the Bears, 2 years younger. So you're going to add another year on top of that contract, and they're saying 5 years, close to $80 million. Again, I think it's 5 years closer to 90 or $100 million, or 4 years, $85 million. Like, I think these guys are going to demand a lot of money. They're going to reset the market at corner. The players they're being compared to, I agree. But again, these are the guys they're being compared to. Marlon Humphrey got $20 million a year. Denzel Ward got $20 million a year. Why he would end up making 15.7? I don't know. I like Spotrac. I just don't agree with their thing there. So here's the question. Do you want to spend $20 million a year on a corner. If you can get one of those guys for $16 million a year, go do it. Go do it right now. Run to the bank with the money. 4 years. Do it. You get your number one corner. You saw Snead you saw him in the Super Bowl. If you haven't seen him all year, all right, he was phenomenal. Johnson is not as sticky as Snead in coverage, but he has a knack for the big play. It would be kind of fun to snipe him from a division rival. I do understand that, but I think they're going to bring him back with everything they have. So let's look at the other option. Let's look at what happens in the draft. As you know, the Lions have the 29th pick. They have the 29th pick. And as I'm looking at this, I'm just saying to myself, okay, what cornerbacks are going to be available? And I like Tankathon just because it's easily workable and things like that. You have your number one option, Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, Nate Wiggins, all right, Cooper DeJean, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. And then a little further down, you have this guy, Enos Rakestraw Jr. And by the way, you know he's a Brad Holmes guy because he tore his ACL, I think, 2 years ago. So, and Brad Holmes love guys who have a torn ACL. But as I look at this, there are 3 corners that really stand out to me, or 4 as being just better than the rest. I think Terrion Arnold is fantastic. Quinyon Mitchell, that dude at the Senior Bowl, just a huge difference. That was originally going to be the Lions are going to get him at pick 29, and he's going to play like a top 10 pick. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it to us at 29. I don't love Wiggins. I don't love Cooper DeJean. I think Cooper DeJean will be a phenomenal safety in this league. And I think he will be, or even like almost like a half linebacker hybrid type role. He's shockingly fast, really big. His hips aren't fluid enough to be an NFL cornerback, I don't think. And so maybe he gets there and he's the new answer to the, the trivia question of what was the last white starting cornerback in the NFL. And the answer will no longer be Jason Sehorn. So it'll be Cooper DeJean. Maybe. All right. Kool-Aid McKinstry's very good. He's very good. And Enos Rakestraw, for my money, is just as good, if not a little bit better. So Enos Rakestraw, as we look at this guy, he is a guy who you see, oh man, he's looking good there. He's got a little, and I say this in the best way possible because I've been clear on how I feel about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's got a little C.J. Gardner-Johnson in him. He is known as kind of the straw that stirs the drink. He's the spark plug. He's the instigator. He's the guy who gets people pumped up on that Missouri defense. He may be the most important part to that Missouri defense that played really, really well this year. When watching film on Enos Rakestraw Jr., there are a couple of things that absolutely stand out to me that are remarkable to me. He has fluid hips. That's what I look for when you want successful NFL cornerbacks. Fluid hips. They need to have it. Cooper DeJean does not have it. All right, he can play in press and he can play off, and he's just as good. All right, he doesn't give up position on an in or out route. I saw him very effectively play zone and very effectively play man. And another thing that I saw him do at an extremely high rate was break up screenplays to wide receivers. It was remarkable how often and how consistently he was doing this. Very good player, and he plays with some serious attitude. I think he has the ability to be a number one or like a co-number one corner in this league. If you think you can find a way to get Enos Rakestraw Jr., I would be happy with him being the pick at pick 29. If you don't, go get a corner in free agency. So there's my thoughts on it. I'm sure we'll talk more about corner and who else we like. But I wanted to give you a little bit of that with a flair of the free agency because free agency's first. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.